Rebel Office brought in just shy of $11,000, actually $10,832.06. That was through 3 retainer clients and the Rebel Office membership and 2 strategy sessions. From that, I always pay myself on the first or like beginning of the next month. So I paid myself $3,500 from that. That's normally what I pay myself every month. And then any expenses that I've personally paid for, I do up an expense report for Rebel Office and then pay myself any discrepancies from there.
So this last month in October, my total revenue was $3,950, and all of that money came from my custom design projects. I paid myself $500. I'm still trying to learn how to pay myself, but I'm still keeping it like pretty small.
So for the month of October, I brought in about $1,500 US, and of that I paid myself 50%.
So in the month of October, I made about $6,000, just under $6,000. I made about $5,800. And most of that came from clients, one-on-one sessions with clients, and a little bit from online sales, mostly from clients though. I paid myself about $400, not very much. I just kind of like left everything in my business account because I was planning on hiring someone to help me.
I brought in $2,100 of that being in sales. I started to do my strategy sessions, and those brought in a few more than I was expecting it to. And some of those sales and the lead generation of them have brought in income in November, but we're just gonna do October for now. And then the other $1,000 came in from a grant that I applied for and that I finally received in the last week of October. So I paid myself half. I used a profit first method. As I scale and I bring in a team, that will quickly be changing, and a little bit of my the percentage that I use. If you've never heard of the profit first method, it is 50% goes for owner's pay, 30% is for operational expenses and just business expenses, and 20% of everything that comes in is for taxes.
And this month I made about $700, and this is for my one client of social media management services and my one client of Pinterest management services. And I also have an Etsy shop template, very cheap templates, just like easy money that always brings some extra cash on the side. I actually didn't pay myself. I just got all that money and invested it right back in my business because I do have a full-time. So I'm just trying to get all the tools that I need. I also paid for a business coach. So it was really, I guess that's kind of paying myself, right? It's investing in myself and my business. So that's really what I did.
My biggest win last month was definitely gaining clarity. Last month, to be honest, was like, it was a mess. I was all over the place. I felt like I lost any sort of vision I had for Rebel Office. So taking the time to really build that, I focused a lot on my mindfulness practice to make sure that I was taking time to kind of reconnect with myself. And I would say that that's actually my biggest win, is building that practice into my everyday, and really just focusing on kind of maintaining that clarity and really creating space for myself. Yeah, biggest win for sure.
My biggest win for October was speaking at the Square Summit, which was a virtual conference for people who have their websites on Squarespace.
One of the biggest wins for me in October was definitely giving myself the time, so taking 2.5 weeks off, basically 3 weeks off, basically October, but taking that time off to work on a passion project of mine that had been a long time coming. So I run a travel photography blog on the side called Freedom Wanderers, and I had been working on my travel presets for about 2 years now, and finally I had the courage to launch them. So yeah, I spent a good chunk of time, basically all of October, just refining my presets and getting the launch materials ready and just putting everything together. So it's finally out in the world. I'm super happy. That is definitely a huge win for me personally.
New clients is where most of my money came from, and actually this month or the month of October, one of my big wins was that I increased my rates and I was able to book clients at my new higher rates.
My biggest win last month, I think I said it earlier, but it was these strategy sessions came, I was trying to decide if I only wanted to do long-term or if I still wanted to have a short-term option. And there was, in the month of October, I spent a lot of time of it in creating my product suite and really being intentional with every aspect of it. I think I sent the most questions to Sarah in the month of October too. And I finally have a product suite that is fantastic, and I could do that because I knew everything is going to pay off later on. I know that my return on investment is there. I received $1 grand in the month of October, and I started finding out that there were going to be more in November and in December. So that's why I'm really excited for that. Because I could do those strategy calls at a rate that it felt good as I was starting out, and then I can increase them now that I have run a couple of people through them and that I know how successful they are and I know exactly how to market them.
A big win for this month was actually signing up the new Pinterest management client, because this is a service that I wasn't planning to offer yet, and I wasn't advertising it, but I was interested in offering it, and this person just had the interest and the need, and it worked out perfectly fine. I said, yes, let's start it, and it's really like my pilot for this new service.
Something I wanted to get done that I didn't. Oh, that's a tough one. I don't even know. See, I feel like because of so much like lack of clarity in my brain, I can't even remember what I set out to do for the month. I would say probably build or get a webinar filmed. My plan is to still, but I was hoping to get it done last month to do like an evergreen webinar and get that set up with my sales sequences and everything. And just because my mood was so off, like my energy wasn't there, I wasn't sure if what I was going to sell was still relevant to Rebel Office. So in terms of actually filming it, I just it didn't make sense to do because I would have been all over the place.
And one of the things I was hoping to accomplish but didn't quite get to is redesigning my own site. So I'm currently working on that this month, hoping to finish it by December, crossing fingers. I just have to actually put myself in my calendar too.
One of the things that I wanted to get done but didn't because I overestimated how much I could actually get done was finalizing the design for a Squarespace website template for freelancers. So yes, that's being pushed back a little. Just had to reprioritize a few important things first.
I think finding help with designing my course slides would have been really, really great. And that's something that I wish I could have accomplished. That was one of my big goals, was to find someone who can help me design the slides for my courses, because it's a pretty big undertaking. It's not something that I personally have the energy to do anymore. I used to do design work. I actually designed my website, my logo, my labels for my products. I designed everything that that has been a part of Moon Medicine thus far, and I don't want to do it anymore. It's it's a lot of energy, and now I find myself procrastinating creating these courses because of the design aspect that really is just draining for me at this point. And I know there are people out there who can do it so much better than I can, and I would love to find someone. So that's still on my priority list. But I think right now, with it being so close to the launch of my course, I am probably gonna end up doing it myself.
I really wanted to get a couple of things launched in the month of October, but I decided that I would rather have a lot more intentional launches than just launching to launch. I have great launch educators who teach me about that, and I think I had to decide for myself that I love messy action, and a lot of people found out about me through the messy action that I did in announcing something and then actually taking a step back because the tech was not working. So what I'm talking about is a grant database that is currently in the process of launching. I'm ideating it now, and I had to hire people to help just because I realized it was going to be a beast of an offering. It's super impactful. It will be profitable long term, but for now I am going to use some of those grant fundings to cover some of those operational expenses until the offering itself is sustainable. So I wish I would have launched it in October. It is actually not going to get launched in November. It's going to wait until December. And I just had to let go of that feeling, that shame and that guilt for not having it done so soon.
There's something I didn't accomplish in October, and it's my sales page and my websites. I was just not having the energy to deal with my website. So that's something I'm going to be working in November. But yeah, keep pushing it because I just didn't want to deal with my website.
Overall, the month I think was eye-opening. And this may just be like a super depressing way to start this video series, but it was a lot. I still feel like I'm in this season of like learning what the next level of Rebel Office looks like, what the next level of me looks like, and how that translates to Rebel Office. And I think that overall this month was really eye-opening and like forced me to get back to why and how I see Rebel Office. I spent all month journaling and meditating and trying new things and exploring different options for Rebel Office and really doing like a shitload of strategy work. And I still don't fully see what I want to see yet. But one thing that I was reminded of was this importance of like, and why I even started, like at one point I was questioning, well, do I change Rebel Office? What does that even stand for anymore? And the biggest thing, and I know I talk to a lot of people who have this debate of like, do I operate under my own name? Do I operate under a name that is totally detached from me? And why I did that with Rebel Office was because of the importance of like, it's not about me. And for someone who like right now is struggling to find purpose and clarity and like where I fit, that's like a hard thing to come to the realization of, but it's also kind of empowering. Like any business strategy I do, like any clients I work with, Rebel Office, it's not about me. It's not about Rebel Office. It's about the people that we work with. Like my business coach reminded me when I was filling out a questionnaire for the program, like an application form, I said that I genuinely believe that the world would be a better place if everyone followed their dreams and followed what they actually wanted to do. Like if everyone just like forgot about expectations, forgot about the shoulds, forgot about the what ifs, and just like went for what they wanted to do with their life, then the world would be a better place. And that was a really nice reminder. It was one I definitely needed because I do believe that. And that's kind of helped me while I may not have a path forward yet for Rebel Office. And we're just kind of like going through the motions right now and maintaining and kind of staying like sustainable and stable. That really did help me kind of say, okay, well, how can Rebel Office be that inspiration for someone? How can Rebel Office show, not only through like strategy sessions and services, but through like demonstration? Like, how can I show up and do what I want and live my best life to inspire others to do the same? So overall, that was a long-winded answer. Overall, the month was a hot mess. Financially, it was successful. Internally, I'm still trying to figure it out and find a path forward, but there are some things that have come out that we're kind of shifting. I've got my team on board to just start putting some things into practice, and start working towards some things. So we'll see. The future's really unclear right now for Rebel Office, but I do know that I'm going to keep showing up, that Rebel Office is going to keep showing up, and that hopefully, I mean, with this video series too, this series is part of what came out of this clarity search. And I really hope that it just provides some sort of insight and some inspiration to show everyone watching that, to show you that everyone's in a different place, and that's okay. Everyone wants different things, and that's okay. Everyone moves at different paces, that's okay. It's okay if you're super successful and then everything comes crumbling down. It's okay if you're just starting out and you get successful really quickly, or that you are maybe moving really slowly. Or if you look around and think that everyone is in this different place than you. My experience is that everyone feels like everyone else is further along. So, and that's kind of how this month feels for me, or last month.
Overall, I feel like I'm very excited for the growth I have in my business, and I've learned so much since starting my business in February. And I am so grateful for how far I've come. There has been so much progress, both mentally and with my design work. And I am looking forward to seeing how the next 2 months go. I have a lot of things planned for myself, so it's mostly just like sticking to it and actually getting it done.
Overall, I would say October was a slow month. It was, I feel like upon reflection at the end of October, I definitely reshuffled my priorities. So a few things are now being shifted back until 2021. And yeah, other things are being pushed forward. So yeah, it was good. I don't regret anything that I did in October. I'm super happy that I finally found the time to release some of the passion projects I'd been wanting to do. But yes, so for the last 2 months of this year, there are a few priorities that have to be put first.
So overall, I would say it was a really good month. I really wish I would have made more progress with the courses, and I'm seeing how not having a team to support me is really kind of slowing things down, and I end up procrastinating on the things that are just energy consuming for me when other aspects of the business are really thriving, like anything that has to do with idea creation, which I had these wonderful ideas that came through. And I was like, no, I have to stay focused on this one thing right now and finish this out and put together this course. So I had really great progress with ideas and new workshops and things that I'm really, really excited about. But all those things are going to be on hold until I can launch this course that I'm currently working on. And yeah, I just wish I would have made a little bit more progress with that.
But overall, I think October is an exciting month. I'm looking back at it now in November with a whole lot of joy. I'm looking back at it with it being a pivotal month for me in business because of that product suite ideation that I did and really being intentional with it. And I don't feel like that product suite will be changing too much in the next year.
One thing I'm grateful for is my support system, my family, my partner, whether or not they understand what I'm doing with Rebel Office, what it even means, what I spend my days doing. They're always there for me, and I appreciate that. They're there for me to say, like, I'm stressed out, or I'm unclear, or I'm having a hard day, and they're there for me, and I really appreciate that.
One thing I'm super grateful for was definitely finding this beautiful cozy co-working space in the heart of Sevilla. So I recently moved here at the start of October. So again, October was a month of settling in, getting familiarized with this new city that I'm in, but definitely so grateful to have found this beautiful co-working space and have met some really lovely people there, and just have this haven for me of productivity. I am really, really grateful for that.
So I am really, really grateful that I don't have very many expenses. I have barely any living expenses except for like food, and all of my other expenses are business expenses, which makes it really easy for me to put a lot of energy into my business. But also I feel like that's not the healthiest thing. I do want to take better care of myself and just do things that I enjoy and not things that are always focused on work. But I'm grateful for just the ability to put so much focus into work and not have other responsibilities that I have to take care of. So it's making it really easy for me to grow professionally, and I'm hoping that will also expand my personal experience of life. Although I do take really great care of myself, I would like to put more money into me. But for now, I'm really grateful that I don't have very many expenses.
I'm super grateful for having that grant come in, due to that that grant was structured in a way that it set aside long-term visions, and so the 1,000 are for long-term visions that I'm very excited about to start chatting about in future episodes too. But I think it just gave me peace. I'm really grateful for the peace that I found in October, but okay, technically there's two things, but I'm really thankful for the clarity that I found in the month of October, and really trusting my long-term vision for this business and starting to play around with that and create offerings that I think I would offer in 10 years, and start to see how I could scale them back and offer them now, even if I don't have all the resources that I know I will have in 10 years.
It's just amazing that still with this very odd year and very difficult year, there's still people investing in themselves. There's still people investing in their businesses and purchasing our services, right? That's something that I wasn't expecting. And even more in the rental industry, where people are, they were not traveling. So Airbnb rentals and short-term rentals in general were very affected, but they were willing to invest in themselves and still purchase my services. So I'm really excited. I'm happy. I'm very grateful. And I'm just ready for next year and see what the 2021 brings for us.